Hello, I am Gustavo Molinatti. It is very nice to meet you on this video. I am going to give you a very frank opinion about the market in Argentina. There are many opportunities for sure, but you cannot just walk in here and expect to make sales. I am very sure after this presentation you will want to ask more questions. First of all, I am very honored to be a partner with Media and also to be an official consultant. I have been involved in the imaging supplies business throughout Latin America for 17 years. I know it well. Apart from Spanish and English, I can also speak good Portuguese, so I know a lot about Brazil too. To think that Latin America is one giant country made up of individual Spanish-speaking states, it's a mistake. Mexico is a whole lot different to Colombia. For example, Brazil is totally different to Argentina. Each country has similarities, but culturally, economically, politically, and financially, they're completely different. People think and act differently. You are welcome to engage me as an RT consultant, and my contact details along with RT Media details will be available at the end of this presentation. So let's get started and focus in Argentina. Argentina is the country that is located in the southern tip of South America. It has a vast area of territory that borders Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Chile. The official language is Spanish and 92% follow the Catholic religion. Argentina is divided into 23 provinces plus the autonomous city of Buenos Aires, which is also the capital of the country. This is where the federal government is located. Its almost 45 million inhabitants are concentrated in a few urban centers. To get a better idea of this concentration, more than 60% of its population is located in only 3 provinces, Buenos Aires, Córdoba, Santa Fe, and in its federal capital. It's in these provinces and its main cities where the greatest economic movement is concentrated. Argentina knew how to be among the countries with the highest per capita income in the world at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. Unfortunately, today it qualifies more as an emerging economy than as an advanced economy. The potential exists, but it often fails to materialize. It is very complex and difficult to understand the political and economic scenario. It is often said that only an Argentine can understand it, but in the last few decades the truth is had only short periods of economic growth with alternate times of recession. Argentina recorded an explosive period of expansion due to the booming prices of commodities and raw materials between 2003 and 2012. This was seen mainly in agricultural products and industrial derivatives, the main source of export earnings for the domestic economy. But a series of wrong policies such as the control of changes between 2011 and 2015 and the strong external indebtedness between 2016 and now reversed that growth cycle of the last decade. We are back into a period of a stagnation phase. World Bank data show that Argentina's GDP per capita fell in 2018 back to the same level of 2010 when measured in dollars. Argentina once led the GDP per capita measurements for Latin America, but today it has been pushed back to the 6th place in the region, surpassed by Uruguay, Trinidad and Tobago, Chile, Panama, and Costa Rica. I must be frank, David, it's not easy. The sharp changes in exchange parity between the Argentine peso and the US dollar, high inflation rates, and an economy that fails to overcome its stagnation make business with anyone in the country very complex. By no means impossible, but difficult. When looking at the aftermarket industry, Argentina has a fairly consolidated market with important players with a long history. Many informal companies have been left behind, and those that remain active tend to be very professional and have a good image in the market. My media company, Guía del Reciclador, for example, has run exhibitions since 2003 focusing on its first stage in remanufacturing companies. And many of those leading exhibition companies after 15 years are still leaders in the Argentine aftermarket. Before showing you some numbers related to the size of the industry, I want to emphasize 2 points. Although, as in the rest of the Latin region, price is a determinant factor, most Argentine aftermarket companies seek to establish solid business alliances, seeking to achieve the best possible quality of their products within the narrow gap that allows the price dispute. On the other hand, the association called CAMOCA had and still has an important role. In addition to having achieved important benefits for the sector, such as zero tariff on the importing of toner over the years, it has developed production standards, seals of quality, and lobbied on behalf of the industry to consumers and the government. Remanufactured products showed an important growth from 2003, but that pace has declined during 2008 and 2009. In 2010, it recovered strongly, and in 2011, the trend was maintained. The 2000 figures show some variance. In 2013 and 2015, a slight fall can be seen. This is considerably accentuated in 2016 and 2017 and reduced by 25% in 2018 from its once very high maximum levels. Professional remanufacturing grew above expectation until early 2017, but the increase of new compatible products from China strongly slowed that trend. Many remanufacturers were withdrawing from the business, moving towards items or moving into the marketing of new build compatible ones. In the following comparative table, we can clearly see how the evolution of the toner cartridge market was during the last 7 years in Argentina. Blue shows the total of original OEMs and non-original imported cartridges. In yellow, you can see imported non-original cartridges, and in green, the estimate of remanufactured cartridges. Although the volume of cartridges showed a slight growth close to 7 million units, it evidenced a strong increase in the share of the imported. As for 2016, the entry of non-original cartridges has been important, and it caused a move away from both the remanufactured and the original OEM cartridge products. In 2018, in Argentina, there was an increase in revenue of new build compatible toner cartridge by 20%, exceeding 60% of the market share if the number of units sold in the year is taken as reference. On the other hand, the number of remanufactured cartridges in 2018 compared to 2017 fell by little more than 20%, and this trend is expected to continue. That's a very good question, David. In reality, the total volume of cartridges remains stable. The number of imported cartridge shipments shows a slight year-on-year growth, but this growth, which is mostly new build compatibles, has taken over the remanufactured cartridge sector. But there is one more fact we should consider. How does this play out across the full agenda of the entire Latin aftermarket? This is reflected in the following chart. If we look at the imports of compatible cartridges in terms of their import value and not in terms of their quantity, we will detect a general drop in the average value per unit. The average price per unit of the imported toner cartridge has registered a year-by-year fall of almost 15% between 2015 and 2017. If we made an analysis in the massive sales models, we will surely find that this fall is much greater. In other words, although the number of compatible cartridges is increasing, the value per unit is decreasing due to the price wars in each market. This causes lower profitability and is forcing the distributor to increase the volume of sales to complement the fall in revenues and profits. I wonder what is happening with the quality of these cheap cartridges following this fall of prices. Well, the inkjet market has been suffering a year-on-year fall, where the market share is mostly filled with original OEM and compatible cartridges. The share of remanufactured inkjet cartridges is almost nil. What it is interesting to note is that despite the fall in imports, the average value per unit continues to grow slightly. As I have said, remanufacturing began to decline from 2016 as a result of the entry of new build compatibles. The evolution of toner imports reveals that fall, accompanied by the fall in average prices per kilo of toner. This value provides another proof that there is a decrease in the production of remanufactured cartridges and the need to lower input cost to compete with the compatible cartridge. We know today there are many models that have higher cost to remanufacture than to buy its new build compatible equivalent. It is an interesting fact to note the case of OPC drums. The imports of OPCs has also suffered the same decrease as toner, but the average value per unit has increased. This could be a consequence of the fall in the import of cylinders of cheaper models, which are the most affected by the penetration of new compatible ones. Well, imports into Argentina of laser printing devices has had mixed results in recent years. In 2015, there was a strong recovery in the number of units and a normalization of the average price, but in 2016 the entry of equipment was insufficient and the average price marks an uncommon level for the quality and characteristics of products entered. In 2017, we see that the average price is normalized due to the importation of used products, but not the units, since the new ones are mostly high production equipment and with imported values. As for the fall in the average price of 2018, it was mainly due to the entry of used equipment. The inkjet devices followed the trend of the laser units, but with a more abrupt drop in their volumes and an increase in prices that until some years ago was not predictable. A drop in unit volumes can be seen in 2016 and 2017, which worsened in 2018, along with a 20% drop in the average price. In the table, we can see the breakdown of the trend as of 2012 in terms of units of more than 50%, and that 2015 registered the highest average per unit in recent years. It is important to note that there was an increase in the entry of used equipment, which has influenced the average unit prices and decreased the quality of available inkjet printing technology. Today in Argentina, it is difficult to talk about long or medium term. We remain very short-term focused. At the end of this year, there will be presidential elections, and the two candidates with a chance of winning have opposing proposals. It is very likely that after December, when the political and the economic direction has settled, the market will begin to stabilize, and we can expect to see an improvement in its numbers due to more business confidence based upon better predictability. The recent evaluations of the currency in relation to the US dollars give good prospects for the remanufactured cartridges and will also widen the gap with the OEM product. The new build compatible cartridge will continue to remain attractive, but it will need to improve in quality in order to conquer new customers. When speaking with aftermarket companies, many tell me that they are looking for new alternatives because they do not find consistency in each batch they receive. In turn, they are under pressure to increase sales volumes and revenues due to the low profitability of their sales. The growth of higher quality OEM standard segments of the market is still the great opportunity of the aftermarket, but it is necessary to have products of higher quality and performance along with the development of printing and MPS service strategies. It will take some time to replace and upgrade the current base of installed printers. At the same time, it is expected imports of used equipment will continue to rise, which will also slow down mass access to better technologies currently on offer with the OEMs.